What's up, guys? So, I wanted to talk about the Amazon Prime Rings of Power. And I also wanted to talk about the She-Hulk movie. And I kind of want to talk about the Flash movie with all the Ezra Miller stuff. But I really don't want to talk about them. So I'm gonna do it all in one video, and we're just gonna leave it at that. And I'm gonna make it short because I don't like talking about negative stuff. But we'll just start because we'll get it over with. Rings of Power looks awful. When I first saw the trailer, I was like, this has nothing to do with Lord of the Rings. It didn't feel like Lord of the Rings. Didn't look like Lord of the Rings. It felt like Game of Thrones or like a random fantasy. Like, if it had been a random fantasy show, I might have been interested. But since they're trying to use it as Lord of the Rings, and they're basically like undoing everything that Tolkien believed in, like, I'm like, this is awful. And then you see like all the trailers and all the comments made by the people behind it, and I'm like, Amazon, I won't be watching this. Like, I have Amazon Prime, but that ain't gonna be something I'm gonna watch. Like, it's gone. Like, I had some interest because I love Lord of the Rings. I love the original trilogy movies. I didn't care for the Hobbit movies like everybody else, but they've killed it. I have no interest in this film. I will not be watching it. So there's that. It's in the story for me. It's not going to be good. Of course, we'll get there. She-Hulk also looks terrible. They've basically neutered the Hulk, and I didn't really care for the Hulk in the last movie. The Avengers Endgame, is that the last one? I think Infinity War comes first and then Endgame. I don't remember. I think that's right. I didn't really care for the Hulk in that because Smart Hulk is okay, but like they didn't develop him. Like, they just solved all his problems at the end. And I'm like, I don't think that's Hulk. Like, I don't mind them getting there, but there was no development. It just happened all off screen. I was like, whatever. And so we have that same Hulk now, but he's even like less, more emasculated by the She-Hulk, who, used to be a pretty good character in comics, but now is, just a crazy, just is a bad character, just like all the other Marvel characters are in Marvel comics. I rarely ever pick up anything out of Marvel these days, and that's just because they don't put anything that's good out. But She-Hulk is the movie. Like, we haven't really had. I think there's been like one or maybe two good movies, you could argue, that have come out since Endgame. It's because the MCU has nowhere to go. They don't know what they're doing. They're just going somewhere, and all the audience is going away. Maybe they should have thought of that before they, finished the Avengers, and then got rid of like all of their main characters that everybody liked. Anyways, so I have no interest in She-Hulk. When I first saw it, I saw the teaser for it. I was like, oh man, She-Hulk, that'd be cool. And then when I saw the first trailer, I was like, yeah, no thanks, I'll pass. It just doesn't look good. And then lastly, The Flash. I have zero interest in this movie now. I thought that Ezra Miller was a bad Barry Allen anyways. They should have just gotten the guy from the Flash show to do it, because he was awesome. At least in the few seasons that I watched like the first 3 or 4, I think, maybe 5, and then I dropped off that. But I thought he was a pretty good Barry Allen, even though they were basically mixing Barry Allen and Wally West's personality, because they have to, because nobody likes Barry Allen. Wally is a much more enjoyable character, is what I mean by that. Barry is just kind of like he's not socially awkward, he's just not like very personable, and except for the people who know him. And he does that as cover, because as the Flash, he's a very personal person, but as Barry Allen, he's a very boring person, kind of like Superman is kind of a klutz, and he's always clumsy and dropping stuff. Well, Barry Allen had that same line where he's, a very boring personality, except for the people who knew him. Anywho, but Ezra Miller wasn't a good version of Barry Allen to begin with. So when they announced the movie, I was just like, this is the worst character you have. Like, why are you making a movie with them? But I was okay with it until we saw all the other crazy stuff that he's doing. Like, he has like this weird cult going on, and then like he has all these crazy like allegations against him, and I'm just like, good grief. Like, so I'm like, Warner Brothers, like, you put him in this movie, I ain't gonna watch it, out of principle. I have no interest in supporting him. I already had no interest in his Flash, but I would have watched it at least, just cause I do like DC and I like the Flash, and I like Barry Allen. He's not a bad character. It's just that Wally's more enjoyable. I grew up watching the Justice League cartoon. Wally was my Flash. So yeah, I'm like, yeah, I've lost all interest in this. What little interest I had is gone. So I'm just like, yeah, no thanks. DC. So 3 films / shows that I'm just not really interested in. I guess if we're gonna throw a fourth in there, yeah, I have very little interest in the Black Adam movie. I think Black Adam's a good villain, but I don't need a movie about him. Like, let him be the one that, he can be like out there. That's fine, but I don't want him as like the main character of a movie. Like, and I guess I felt the same way about the Joker movie, which I thought was pretty good for an Elseworld story. So maybe Black Adam will surprise me. I don't know. We'll see. So, I don't know. Those are my thoughts. I have like Marvel and DC. I have and Lord of the Rings now, if you can call it Lord of the Rings. It's just like nothing good's coming out. So it's like, well, we'll just wait and see. The Shazam movie looked awesome. The Shazam movie too. I just hope they don't go where the comics are going right now, but the movie looks great. So, because I don't even think that Billy Batson is Captain Marvel right now. So it's just like, what's the point of having a Shazam book if you're not going to have him as Captain Marvel? Like, what's the point? But whatever. So, yeah. Anyways, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. I'm trying to keep this short because I don't really want to talk about all this, these bad things things that I think of as bad, at least. Let me know what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Are you planning on watching them? And if so, why? Tell me why. I'd love to hear. So I'll catch you next time. Peace.